So what did I learn from this transformation? I definitely went a lot more conservative than I probably should have. I could have easily lost a lot more weight every week than I did. I did learn that walking is just not really my preferred method of cardio. A lot more has to go into it, time-wise. I am still walking. That has become part of my routine, but I still definitely prefer the spin bike as a main driver of activity. Yeah, I definitely did a lot better on a vacation. Not as good as I could have done. I'm 100% not where I want to be right now with this. I'm not upset at where I'm at, particularly, but I'm definitely not where I personally wanted to be at the end of this. And because now I'm going on vacation for about a month, it's, I will just maintain and just not really care, which I fully expect to gain, some pounds over this next 4 weeks. But come June, I'll go right back into it and hit it hard. Now I will most likely do a pretty steep deficit starting out and taper it back, with my preferred method of dedicated cardio every morning being spin bike. That's kind of how I felt this whole time. After a long time, much longer than I probably realistically need to be on this cut, just because of varying factors that put me back several weeks at a time. Fatigue hits. I'm definitely glad to not have to really watch all that much on what I'm eating for the next month. I'm not gonna go crazy, but I am on vacation. I'm not gonna be super strict about it. I want to actually enjoy my vacation. Not that I didn't enjoy the vacations that I was on while on the cut. It's just, I'm not going to be as mindful of my food choices. That's what I'm saying. But, yeah.
So I found this process to be really interesting for me. I really developed over the course of the last few months a sense of routine and a way to continue to persevere physically in terms of the rest of the stress of my life, because the first few months of the year are always the craziest for me at work, and my habit is to fall off, to give up for the few months and then start again when we get to July, August, and continue in earnest. But this time around, I managed not to do that. This time around, I really found routines and worked on choosing exercises that I enjoy doing to help keep me going, to help build something sustainable that I feel like I can take beyond this experience. And I'm very excited about that. And I'm excited for the bits of the community that I feel like I have really connected with. And I'm looking forward to continuing to use those to help reaffirm my commitment to myself, physically. In terms of the mental end of it, I think that I've done a decent job of getting out of my own way on the physical end. and of not making things overly complicated when it comes to actually going to the gym or going to do cardio, which I prefer to do outside. My biggest challenge, and I think my next step, is to really hone in on food. Out-training a bad diet is not something I'm going to be trying to do. But I knew that I can't really tackle everything at once. And I'm excited with what I've learned and what I've reinforced over the last few months to continue forward into the next step of building something long-term and sustainable.
I started this 16-week challenge off with the goal of gaining about 4 to 5 pounds by the end. It took nearly 2 months to see the scale start to move up consistently, so the first half ended up being more of a recomp. As we got deeper into the challenge, unexpected events kept cropping up that added a lot of stress. This in turn impacted my recovery and exercise consistency. Despite those setbacks, I stayed on target for my nutrition throughout the whole challenge. Going forward, I plan to continue the bulk for at least 6 more weeks while I finish up my current training block. After that, I'll likely switch to a deficit for 8 to 12 weeks. If I were to do things over, I would increase my calories more aggressively when things weren't moving in the desired direction. From the start of the challenge, I knew there wasn't going to be a dramatic physical difference, but I'm still happy with the strength and rep PRs I've made during these last 16 weeks.
I guess for me, kind of my wins is that I became more comfortable in seeing the scale number go up. For me, obviously from before when I started this transformation challenge and back in 2020, I definitely put on a lot of like quote unquote like COVID weight. And with that came with also just various other health issues and etc. Like I have neuropathy in my left hand, and that makes it challenging to do a lot of just weight in general, like my grip strength will just give out. So just seeing challenging myself and seeing the weight that I did see go up on my lifts happened to go up, so that was great. Like I said, being uncomfortable with seeing the scale go up and being okay with it. After TwitchCon, I decided to do like a mini bulk. I put on like 10 pounds, actually more than that. I think I put on like, almost 15. From the top of my bulk, I got up to 180. Now I'm 170, which is shy of my goal weight. Not my goal weight. My goal weight was 165, but you know what? I'm still trying to celebrate the win that I did have. Like I said, being able to hit the gym, see the weights that I was doing and having them go up was great. What didn't go so well is that I had a lot of work stress, a lot of job changes that made it so that I was stuck at my desk all the time. Wasn't able to consistently hit 4 days in the gym as much as I would love. Also just traveling for like work and also for pleasure. I had Neotropolis literally a week right before the end of the challenge, and that made it kind of difficult for me to cut a lot of loading because it's a desert camping trip and eat camping food and it's super high salt anyways. Lessons learned is that I can push myself and I can do more weight than I anticipated, and I need to stop fucking sandbagging my workouts. And what I want to improve next time is block time in my calendar, be able to hit the gym when I want to, and stay good with my calories and getting my protein in. Also, look, shoulder chill. These guys, look at those. Same. Bye.
Yo, it's like name Jack here, and I actually wound up having a great time with the transformation challenge. I accomplished all my goals, if not to the degree I wanted, but I did get back up to about 6 pull-ups with a weighted vest on, 30 pounds. Got back up to like 15 push-ups with the 30-pound weighted vest. All the squats, my leg strength came back real fast. That was very nice. I did notice that whenever I like corrected for something, I put so much energy towards it, I didn't have the mental bandwidth to maintain what I had already been doing right. So whenever I tightened up on my fitness consistency, I dropped off on my diet consistency, and then so on with like sleep. In a circle, I figured what I've learned from that is make smaller adjustments when trying to correct for that, and I'm gonna have to figure out what that means for me at least. I know as I go on with my athletic journey going forward, one thing I've been really working on is how to manage my boredom. Figured stick with the same exercises for about 4 weeks because I think I can tough out the boredom for that long before I start to lose my mind. But until then, I'm gonna see how the rest of the year goes. I'll see you guys later.
Final thoughts, Ape Transformation Challenge 2025. Started off strong, started off feeling really good, confident, everything was going great. Then it kind of eased up a little bit, you know, so like most people, life stuff happens. We had 3 funerals in the past couple months, so it wasn't ideal, but towards the end, started finding that fire again, you know, nice weather outside, getting some more activities in, and changing up the lifting program, I think, were some of the reasons why it started to spark again here towards the end. Overall happy with the total progress since the beginning of the year, and I feel like going forward it's just going to keep continuing, you know, not like past times where summer happens or end of the challenge happens and you kind of say, oh, that's the end of that. So I think everything is heading in a good direction.
For the transformation challenge this time around, I felt a little bit weird coming in because I knew that I was trying to gain and or maintain, and there aren't a lot of folks that are doing the bulk thing in the transformation challenge, but that makes a lot of sense. I wanted to transform into a father, and I wanted to transform into a father that still cared about fitness, that still was connected with his community, that was still able to kind of maintain a service role for others, and I think I was able to do that, and a lot of that was from the support of my wife Lauren, who made space for me to get out here and to keep working out and to keep going for short runs. Also to Sweet Lou and to the rest of the Ape community, that I think just being in touch with people who are still working on their goals, even in a time when, you know, I'd wake up, I'd have no idea what time it was, I'd be running on 2 to 3 hours of sleep, like falling asleep for 5 minutes in the car in between appointments. You know, all the things they say about newborn life, I think definitely hit true for us. And whether I made progress during the last 8 weeks, 9 weeks, or whether I have really just kind of done what I could to stay active and stay involved and just continue to love working out and moving, that's all I really could ask for. So overall, I feel like if I learned anything, it is that even the small stuff counts. To make whatever you can work. I feel like I preached that for a long time, but I've been privileged to take longer workouts and more flexible stuff. But it does work if you just try to stay in it day after day. You'll get there, you'll get something, and it'll lead you to a place that could help you be just a little bit more fit, or a little bit happier, or a little bit more feeling like you're in control of your life.
Finally, we are at the end of this challenge. It's been really rough. Very rough for me because I have literally turned my whole life upside down. I have moved to a different country. I don't really know anyone here. I've changed my job. So I used to have a desk job. Now I'm doing manual labor. It was hard getting my dog Cassie over here. So, just a lot going on top of trying to keep track of my macros. I have been pretty consistent with my macros. I have had, of course, a lot of slip-ups too, but I've always been able to get back on track, which is very important. Yeah, the hardest part is probably when I injured my knee. I don't know what happened really. It started hurting a lot. I now know it's very likely to be a quad tendon that has been getting kind of irritated, so nothing too serious, but it takes a long time to heal up. But yeah, it's slowly getting better, finally. I just haven't been able to do my leg day in like 2 months, so kind of stressful. But it is what it is. I haven't reached my end goal yet. I feel like I want to lose more fat. But it's not like the end of this challenge is marking the end of my journey. I can keep going, maybe take a break first, maybe go back to maintenance, at least increase my calories a bit now that I'm working manual labor. But then, keep going, get to where I want to go to. And I know I can do that. Definitely happy with my result, all in all. I feel like there's visible results, so that's good. I want to work on not overeating when I'm not tracking my calories, because the second I start tracking my calories one day, I go crazy. It's like, oh, the app doesn't know, so I can just overeat. I know it doesn't work like that, but it's like a part of me thinks that. I don't know what's going on. But it's something I can learn from, try to figure out how to stop it or get better, Yeah.
No, ape it up. You got to ape it up. 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 Ape it up.